Welcome back for a special on-camera edition of Territory Talk, the official Panthers podcast. Doug Plagens, Jameson, and our special guest, Ryan Lomberg of the Panthers, here with us today. And, well, before we get too far into it here, Jameson's got the reverse retro on. What do you think of this look here?
Yeah, I think collectively as a group, we love them. You know, anybody I talk to, they're like, I need that jersey. We need to get that ordered. So I think they did an awesome job. We're excited to wear them.
Yeah, really cool jersey. And, well, just as far as this season's gone, how's everything felt for you as an individual, for the group as a whole, and playing for a new coach here in Paul Maurice? Just how's everything felt so far? Yeah,
it's been great. The coaching staff has done a great job so far. You know, obviously we've lost some games that, you know, we shouldn't have or let slip away for whatever reason. But I think, you know, it's a lot of it's positive for the most part. We're working in the right direction. You know, we're all pulling towards for the same goal. So it's a close group in there. Everyone's on the same page, so we're definitely looking forward to keep working together and getting better as the season goes on.
And for yourself, how you feeling? You're flying like out there as always, but it seems like every season you take on a little bit more responsibility. Right now you're out there with Anton Lundell on the second line. Coach the other day said, you know, hey, as long as he's comfortable out there, we're going to keep giving him all these looks. So for yourself, I mean, it seems like every time they throw a challenge your way, you're ready for it.
Yeah, it's been awesome. You know, anytime you can get out there more and feel like you have more of an impact and you have more of an impact on the result of the game, it's a, you know, a good feeling to feel a big part of it. So obviously being out there with those two, they're tremendous players. So it's exciting. Every time I come to the rink, you know, I'm ready to go. We're ready to score and get chances and just, you know, work really hard as a line.
And we know obviously this team has a lot of offensive weapons. We know you guys can score. We know you're fast, but a lot of just agitators on this team too, guys that other teams don't like playing against. Yourself, Patrick Hornquist, Matthew Tkachuk, Sam Bennett, the list goes on and on. Just how much pride do you guys take in that? And also, is there an under-the-radar guy where we don't talk about that's actually really good out there in terms of getting under other teams' skin?
I would say off the top of my head, Cousins for sure is a guy that can do that. But, you know, all those guys, I think, you know, they just work so hard. They're all, you know, blue-collar, hard-working guys that it's contagious, right? You know, if guys are kind of not mentally in it, some guy kind of shakes something up, chirping the guys, they say something we don't like, then, you know, it kind of brings everybody in and involves everyone. So it's good to have those guys in your team because, like I said, it gets everybody involved and gets you hating the other team. So
one guy that got involved last game is a guy that doesn't usually get involved, and that's Alexander Barkov. Carter Verhaeghe takes a high hit along the boards. Barkey just goes right at it, you know, locks up with the guy. They fall to the ice. I don't think I've ever seen that from Barkey. If you push him, he'll push back, but I've never seen him just go at it. What was it like for you guys to watch that and see the captain throw hands out there?
Yeah, you know, obviously he's our leader, right? We follow, you know, we follow him. So obviously we don't like him doing it all the time because he's our big guy. So we got to protect him as best as we can. But anytime, you know, the skill guys get involved like that, it just, you know, it brings the camaraderie of the group, you know, a lot closer. And even more so when he gets hit or skill guys gets hit, you know, everybody is coming to their defense, especially if they're going into the defense of their line mates. So it's, you know, he's our captain, and I don't expect anything less.
An elite skill guy, but also maybe one of the biggest guys on the team. He's a guy that if he wanted to, could probably take on most guys in this league. So lucky for them, he doesn't, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's why, like, a lot of the times when people are trying to hit him and I kind of threaten them, well, all right, I'm going to go after your skill guy now. Chances are, you know, Barkey could take a hit a lot better than a lot of other skill guys just because of his sheer size, right? So, yeah, we don't really worry about Barkey too much out there. He'll be all right.
You had a little prior knowledge of Matthew Tkachuk, obviously, from the Calgary days, but he comes in and he brings a swagger and an attitude, no doubt about that. How's he fit in? What's it been like having him on your side again here?
Yeah, you know, you kind of said it all. He does everything. For my time in Calgary, he was, you know, obviously a lot of tremendous players there, so some great leaders. But he was the guy day in, day out, consistent all the time, would compete. And again, like I said earlier, you know, it's contagious. He's competing. He's working he's working very hard. So it just brings guys in. So it's I think Billy said it the best when he called him a unicorn. That's probably the best way to describe it. He's like, there's not many people that can do what he does out there. So it's great to have him on our team.
Yeah, there's only a handful of guys in the league that kind of fit that mold, and one of the other ones has the same last name as Matthew. His brother fits that mold too. But for you, we talked about your role as the season's gone on here, and you and I talked about this after a morning skate a game or two ago. But as far as your role goes, you go onto a line with a guy like Anton Lundell, a guy like Sam Reinhart, for example. Do you alter your game at all? Do you approach it differently at all? Or do you kind of just stick to your strengths and just play to your strengths, as I said?
Yeah, I think in the past I've gotten myself in trouble because I've gotten a bit of an opportunity and then, I changed the player that I am and what has gotten me there. So the message from the coaching staff and what I'm trying to do this time around is stick to my guns, be relentless, get on the forecheck. Be on the body, create space for those guys, be the first guy in so they can come and grab the puck and make their skill plays. So I'm definitely approaching it as I would playing with anybody else. I'm just playing my game and trying to complement them as best I can.
And when we talked to Paul, he said you were one of the guys that when he got here, he was surprised. There was the scouting report. That's what he thought you were. He got here. He's like, this guy is something completely different. And we see it a lot in games. It seems like no team in the league really has a good scouting report on your speed. Because you get out there, you blow past the defender, and they look around.
You catch guys by surprise a lot.
Who is this guy?
Yeah.
Just how much pride do you take in your speed? And when do you think teams are finally going to catch on that maybe they got to watch the gap there a little bit?
Hopefully never. Hopefully never for our sake. But yeah, it's definitely one of my assets. So I definitely try to skate as fast as I can. Majority of the time I'm out there. Obviously got to pick my spots and be patient, but again, definitely try to push the pace with my legs.
And Doug and I have talked before, to get to the NHL, at some point every guy was the man on their team. They were putting up a ton of points, a ton of goals. When we look back at your journey in the past, we've talked about your time in the AHL, your time with Calgary, but going way back now to high school, I think this was 2010-11, you had a 99-point season, 50-plus goals. You missed out on 100. Are you still a little upset about that for that season?
You know what? I totally forgot about that until now, and I am upset about it right now. So
you go back to the tape and play an assist or something.
You got to think that they missed one. Like, come on, Or maybe I got a couple extra, so I don't know. But
we know how much you love scoring, 15 goals a season now. The sellers are huge. You get the guys fired up. I mean, what was it like back then scoring 50+? Were you still putting the same energy?
Yeah, there were some epic sellies for sure. No, there were some epic sellies for sure. It was, I always try to have as much fun as I can, right? So growing up, looking up to guys like Ovechkin and Fleury, just all that stuff. Like guys have fun. It's fun scoring. Even when your line mate scores, I love selling too. It's like I just love having fun out there. So yeah, definitely some epic sellies in those high school
days. And I think
days.
now you're a guy we could say maybe has a signature selly. I mean, the arrow is big for you right now. I think it's pretty much what you do every time, right?
Yeah, it's just reaction for me right now. I've been thinking and talking to the guys about other ones that I want to do, but it's like default. I don't think I see the puck go to the end and right away I'm pulling it out. It's like, where did it even come from? I don't know.
Do you have a background in archery? Is that something?
No, not even. No, I don't know. I guess I saw the celly once, loved it, and going with it.
Who's got the best celly on the team, do you think?
I like Barkey's for sure. His no celly. He's like so casual. Been there a million times
the
before.
Corner, and then he kind of turns and then just gets mobbed.
Sometimes he doesn't even smile or smirk. It's like the one last night. I didn't sell it. It was great. It's awesome.
I want to ask about Barkey because Barkey. I mean, I've known Barkey 10 years at this point. I think I've seen him play every game he's ever played in. But he's still kind of a mystery. He's still a guy you don't know a ton about. For yourself, you've been around him a couple seasons now. Just your thoughts on Barkey in the room, and do you have a Barkey story yet? Is there anything about Barkey that stuck out?
I don't know about a particular story, but things that come to mind are definitely, he's a professional. Every day he approaches it the same way. He's always so dialed in. He's always in the gym. He's always, you just always, anytime you see Barkey in the locker room, he's always doing something to prepare himself, whether it's a practice, a game, anything like that. So he's definitely, the definition of a professional, a leader. That's why he's our captain, and that's why we follow him so fearlessly because he's always doing the right thing. So, he's definitely a guy we can all look up to and should look up to because, he's always doing the right thing. So he's an easy guy to follow for sure.
And you talk about looking at Alexander Barkov and just looking at the way he goes about his business. A guy like Eric Stahl comes in. Last year you had a chance to play with Joe Thornton. You've had a lot of quality veterans that have been here, guys who've accomplished a lot. How much do you find yourself still just looking at other guys and just seeing the way they go about their business, just seeing if there's anything you can pick up?
Yeah, 100%. I've been, very fortunate to play, with Jumbo and now Stalzy for sure, both of them for that matter. Even guys like Horny who have won a couple Stanley Cups, But yeah, anytime you're around those guys who have done it for so long and have done it so good for so long, anything that they do that you kind of see is different, you pick up on and you ask them about, and like, perfect example is Stalzy on the penalty kill. He's like, it's just right out of the PK textbook every time, and it's like he doesn't have to think about it because he's been doing it for so long. So something like that, in that particular situation, I usually just kind of ISO cam him on the ice and look at exactly what he's doing. So when I get that chance, I'm just doing what he's doing. He's doing it right. So, it's kind of the same thing as Barkey. Like, just, we got some tremendous leaders. So,
taking notes.
Yeah, follow the leader when they're that good. Why go off the path, when you don't have to. So, no, guys like that, it's amazing, and I feel very fortunate to be around guys like that.
Now, I want to think of how I want to phrase this, but obviously you played in a lot of different levels. You've produced at a lot of different levels. You find yourself here with the Panthers in the National Hockey League. What kind of advice would you give to another guy who's climbing the ranks, playing in different levels, and trying to just grab that opportunity and run with it and embrace a role like you have?
Yeah, I think, there's a couple big things. Obviously, you have to work tremendously hard every day. I think what I tell young kids is, it doesn't matter where you're at today. If you keep working hard and you get better a little bit, doesn't matter how much, you get better every day, eventually you're going to get to where you want to go. So that's a big thing for sure, obviously. And also, you got to believe in yourself. You got to, believe in what you're capable of.
Trust your strengths.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of, not a lot, but definitely through the ranks for me, I got kind of pegged as a, instigator, fighter, tough guy. But I always knew I kind of had the, not playmaking and goal scoring, kind of more as a secondary role, but I knew I kind of had that in the bag. So, I'd always just, constantly believe in myself, and slowly I would get more opportunities, and I would be ready for it and prepared because it's what I work on every day. So, you definitely have to work hard, and you got to believe in yourself, because if you don't, then nobody else will. So, it starts with yourself.
And I know fans love your story. They love the underdog attitude. They love the hair. They love the sellies. You're a fan favorite here. It's safe to say. We see all the signs during warm-ups. Just what can you say about how the fans here in South Florida have embraced you over these past couple seasons, and just the aura of the Lamborghini and the legend that it's grown into?
Yeah, it's been amazing. Like I can't say enough good things about the fans here. It catches you off guard. I remember my first year here a few years ago. It was even before the season started in the grocery store. People are coming up to you and saying hi and good luck, go get them, or, good game, or just coming up and giving you nucks. It's like you think about Florida and South Florida and the Panthers, and you don't really think they have that fan base, but God, the fans out here are passionate. They know their hockey. They believe in us. They have our backs, so it's great. I feel very lucky and fortunate to have their support, because I really appreciate it.
And you got a lot of fans, but you also have at least one celebrity fan now that we're aware of on social media. I think this was last season, Brooks Koepka, one of the top golfers of the last decade, a multi-major
Probably
winner.
the top.
Yeah, there you go, right there. So it's reciprocated, the fandom. He shows up to a game. He's in a Lomberg jersey. Just take us, what happened from there? Because that's just going to all caught us off guard.
Yeah, so he was in the weight room after the game, and all the guys come in, or not all, but a few, and they're like, dude, you know Brooks Koepka? I'm like, who doesn't? Like, of course I know Brooks. Like, then they're like, well, he's in the weight room. He wants to say hi to you. And I'm like looking around, like, me? Like, so I sprinted in there, and, don't you know it, it's Brooks and his buddies. So, I go in there, and we start chatting, and we hit it off, and next thing you know, now we're texting each other, and we're buddies. So it's cool. It's crazy, because, he's obviously at the pinnacle of his sport, and, when I'm around him, I still feel like a fan, but he's like so down to earth and such a cool guy. So it's weird, but Again, definitely very lucky to call him a buddy. It's pretty cool.
Did you ever? Is there a backstory there? Because I mean, like, you can't go into buy a Lomberg jersey off the rack. You can custom order that at some point.
Yeah, I know that he grew up in West Palm, and him and his brother were fans growing up of the Panthers and stuff like that. And I think it just kind of all the stars aligned. Like we were playing Ottawa, I think, and I think Chucky's brother was running around, so I was after him a bit, and he liked that. And then I got hit by Brown, and then I tossed my gloves and we fought, and I think he just loved that, that I didn't really.
He's like, that's my guy.
Yeah, that I didn't really care a whole lot about, fighting and doing, whatever it took for the guys. So I think that kind of resonated with him, and kind of, because from what I get, he's a guy that takes care of his group and his buddies, and he's always got the entourage, and they always seem like they're having the best time, and like they're so close. So I definitely think that kind of resonated with them, just like one of the boys, kind of.
Any tips with the short game, anything like that?
Have you golfed with him yet?
I haven't gotten out there with him yet, so I don't know if I want to, honestly. Like, he's so good, I'm just going to embarrass myself, really.
You're up there at the tee box,
yeah,
watching you. I feel like I couldn't.
I'm not a good golfer, so I don't really get nervous when I'm golfing, but I would imagine I'd be shaking a little bit on that tee box. I actually was lucky enough to get out when he was down in Doral there for the live tournament. I was lucky enough me and Butchie were able to get out there, and it was pretty cool seeing him that close, hit the ball, and he's amazing. So I'm looking forward to kind of getting back out and seeing more of that.
And this is the last one for me. You do have the biggest fan in the world these days too, and that's your son, Roman.
Yeah.
We've seen him on Instagram all the time now, on the glass before the game. Just clearly he's got tickets. Yeah. He's a territory member. He's got a plan. He's at every game. But just what is that like? Obviously, before you have him at home, it's one thing, but to actually have him here now at the rink, watching you play, seeing him pregame. Yeah,
that's one of the things. Growing up, obviously, it's a dream of yours to play in the NHL and to have the opportunity to play with some amazing players and that whole thing. But I didn't really think too much about having my son watch me in warm-ups in the glass. I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. And it's the coolest thing ever. It's amazing. It's again, I'm very, very, very lucky to be in this position where they can come, watch me. He can kind of be around it. And I'm just looking forward to, as he gets older here, bringing him around. Like Stalls, he had his boys a little bit older, obviously. I think they're like around 10-ish, but they're in the weight room after the game, with the boys. So yeah. I think that's the coolest thing in the world. And to have a son of my own at the arena now with me, it's just, it's tough to put into words for sure.
And the last thing for me, you go through this season now, we've seen what you guys have accomplished the last couple of years. What's the biggest key now? Knowing that you guys are in that top tier teams, that's a legitimate contender in the National Hockey League, legitimate contender for big things. What's the biggest thing you have to remind yourself of throughout the course of the year? Because obviously it is a grind, and we've seen that.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is that it's a process. Playoffs don't start tomorrow. So our game doesn't have to be perfect right now, but we definitely have to pay attention to the details, make sure we're building, and we're doing all the right things. So, by the time we get to playoffs, we don't change a thing. We know what we're doing. We know what he's doing. I know what he's doing. They know what I'm doing, and we're all going together at the same speed, same beat, all that good stuff. So it's a process, and that's kind of been the message from the coaching staff is, it doesn't really matter now. It does, obviously, but you got to be doing the right things. We can be doing the right things and lose, and that's okay as long as we're doing the right things, because in the long run, we're going to get to the playoffs, and we're going to be going, because we've been building all year long. So we're not going to change a thing.
Well, Ryan Lomberg, our guest here on the Territory Talk Video Edition. We thank you very much for stopping by. Like all the folks out there in Panthers territory, we're big fans of watching you play too. So again, it's been awesome. And hey, we don't roll this video setup out for just anybody.
This is great. I appreciate you guys. This is awesome. Thank you.
Well, we thank you very much for stopping by. Everybody, thanks for watching here today. This has been Territory Talk, the Video Edition with Ryan Lomberg.